Hey, how's it going? This is Gray, Wakazashi's Tea House over in Japan. I hope you're good. I hope, most importantly, you're Genki. How's it going? Yeah, here we are, another weekend. I'm a bit tired today because, guess what? For a change, no, I've not been out last night drinking. I went to jiu-jitsu this morning, first time in a while, so we did some fairly light training, but getting to the dojo for the first time in a while can be hard, and it was freezing cold. As usual, I lost all the feeling in my toes by the end of the class, but yeah, it was great to get there, great to get back to jiu-jitsu, get back to the dojo. The Wakizashi Tea House Dojo is always fun, so I recommend it. So, how are you doing out there? You good? Let me know what you've been reading, what have you been up to. It's been quite a good week for comics, and got some news as well, some Marvel news, some Spider-Man news, Godzilla news. Always up for a bit of Godzilla news. So yeah, let's see. Got me coffee, got me water, ready to go. Where are we? So, I don't know, things to talk about. I don't like talking negative things, but I'm going to start on a little bit of a negative topic, and that is the most recent issue of Amazing Spider-Man, issue 66. Came out this week, came out on Wednesday. Written by Justine Ireland, art's by Andrea Broccardo, and art's pretty good. But it's the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man, continuing whatever part, God knows what it is. I've kind of almost lost track of what part it's up to because I've been dipping in and out. It hasn't been good. Yo, Fearmonic, how you doing, man? Yes, Godzilla might be joining the Avengers. Godzilla is rising, according to Marvel. We're talking about that later. There'll be some solicitations for upcoming months. But yeah, going back to Spider-Man, man, what is going on with Spidey? We had 2 issues out this week. The Ultimate Spider-Man was pretty decent, but ASM is not good. Okay, let's have a look. Let's share screen and see if I can do it right this time. I'm going to start off with, what shall we do? Shall we share? Okay. Comic book roundup. I know. It's not really that. What's the word? How significant is it anymore? Because you don't see many reviews like you used to. 10 years ago, there were loads of reviews. But anyway, give you an idea. Amazing Spider-Man 66. It's got 4 critic reviews. The first one gives it an 8 and then a 7.5. Then very rare, AIPT gave it 6.5. That's pretty low for them. Unusual. And another one here, Comic Watch 5.9. So it is very rare to see low. They are pretty low for critic reviews. Gets more interesting when we get to the user reviews. 10 user reviews against 4 critics. So let's see what people are saying. Let's take that show. That's all right. Yeah, good. Yo, Dwayne, good to see you. I hope you're Genki. I know. Don't run away. Don't leave the stream because I'm talking Spider-Man. I'm starting off on a negative and then we'll have a positive later on. Where is it? Look at this. Some weirdo called Wakizashi Reviews with a picture of Gru on his avatar there. I gave it a 3 and this is more for the art, I think. And this doesn't really address the issue, but it's a general letter, an open letter to Amazing Spider-Man. Unfortunately, nothing is going to change while Nick Lowe remains editor of this comic. I know this is old news, but it's truly unbelievable how far Marvel have allowed this flagship book to tank in quality. Big and extensive changes are needed, but I feel like we've been saying the same thing for years. I really do. Ignore Dave DSG. He usually gives everything a 10, so it's rare to see an 8. An 8 for him is like a 5 for me and you. Here we go. People who are just annoyed with this run. Frank, 3.5 out of 10. Starts off with the positive. I'll be honest, I liked issue 65, but I've disliked this story arc from the beginning. Me too, mate. There's absolutely zero stakes in this story. It's just it's a game. Lose a life, get another life, fight the end of level boss, repeat. And also at the same time, get Spider-Man quitting everything. For me, the whole concept hasn't worked. I won't reiterate the reasons which the reviewers here on this site have already espoused. Espoused, I like that word. I see the problem as being one of ability. We need Marvel to engage writers and artists who are at the top of their game to do justice to what is their best and most commercial character. It's like I was saying, it's the flagship book. It really is. Come on. And Frank here gives an example. Just look at what Ghost Machine are producing. Top talent like Hickman will produce top products. It's that simple. So they've got Jonathan Hickman, who I know not everyone loves him, but he's a decent writer. He's on Ultimate Spider-Man, and Ultimate Spider-Man is a decent comic book. On Amazing Spider-Man, they're swapping it around between Joe Kelly, Justina Ireland, and I think was it Derek Landy did a random, very poor issue, the last issue. So he goes on to say, I'd love a reboot of the whole 616, and it is going to be rebooted. I don't know about a reboot, but there's going to be a new Spider-Man #1 coming out, folks, in April. We'll get to that later. Afray, am I going crazy, or didn't the Spidey office just tell this story? Wasn't the whole point of Wells' run going from depressed and avoiding people to stable relationship and getting back on your feet? We just did this, and we're now doing the same. The art was meh, writing, while solid, just screams repetition. I can't be bothered to be invested. Yeah, the writing was, I thought the dialogue was pretty decent. Don't like the story, but the dialogue's okay. So I'm not having a go at the writer. Justina Ireland, she's done a fine job, but I think it goes beyond the writers and the artists. It's not just the editor. Nick Lowe is the main villain in this piece, but whoever's like higher than him, who are deciding to, I don't know, they just seem to hate Spider-Man or Peter Parker Spider-Man. Solly Woods, I'll just say this, stick to Ultimate Spider-Man, 2 out of 10 by the way. Remember when Marvel was intentionally trying to ruin the X-Men brand before they got the movie rights back? It feels like Marvel is intentionally trying to ruin Spider-Man for reasons I don't know. But the past few years of bad writing, horrible characterization, makes me think someone at Marvel wants to tank the character. Ooh, I use the word tank as well. Previews for the upcoming relaunch look like they are keeping the bad writing coming. Stick to Ultimate Spider-Man. Da Spider Boy says, 2 out of 10 again, I don't mind Peter Parker losing faith and giving up. And later in the end we see Parker regain his motivation. Nothing wrong with that, the hero's kind of journey. But at least have the story, dialogue and character writing work. Half of this issue isn't about Peter Parker at all, and it's kind of funny how Black Cat broke up with Peter. Yeah, she kisses him and immediately goes back to him. Also, what he doesn't mention is that, Peter's basically cheating on his new girlfriend, Shay. How half of the book is actually Doctor Strange with X-Men stuff in it. Marvel needs to get new editors or a staff team and have actual good writers who care about Spider-Man, write Spider-Man. Maybe that's why Ultimate Spider-Man works so well. It's run by a different team and Hickman cares about Spidey. Hickman isn't really seeing Spider as a paycheck. And then we got a few more reviews of 3s, 2s and 1.5s, even a 1 out of 10. There we go. Let's get back to the stream. Firmonic, we need Geek Dad to see how it actually measures up. Oh my god, Geek Dad's reviews are hilarious, aren't they? Yeah. Dwayne saying, just read Hyde Street issue 3. Oh, is it good? I haven't got to it yet. I haven't picked it up yet. And Dwayne repeats, new Spidey #1. How original. I know, right? We've got 66 now, so is it going to get to 70 before it gets relaunched? We'll have to see. And that's with what feels like sometimes 3 issues coming out in a month at the moment. Talk about, just doing it for the money. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Truly, it's unbelievable. Can't believe it. Trying to find a Geek Dad review now. Firmonic, you got me looking. So that was. I want to mainly talk about Spidey at the moment. Let's have a look what the Ultimate Spider-Man reviews were like. I'm not going to go through them all. Don't worry, won't be boring you all to death. But let's see. Let's just make that a little bit bigger. Let's share this. Here we go. Let's see if Geek Dad's got a review on here. But this was a decent issue. I gave this 8 out of 10, maybe a bit generous. It's more like a 7.5. But I was good. It's great to see Marco Cicchetto's back. It's the start of a Craven Hunt storyline, and Peter's actually in it for once. The real Peter Parker, not the Venom suit symbiote or the AI Peter. Here we go. The critics first. Comic Watch gives it 10. Comics Online 10. Comic Book Revolution 10. Hey, you're seeing a pattern here. Nerd Initiative 9.5, AIPT 9. And Weird Science Marvel Comics from Gabe, Sus Gabe, gives it a 7. And people weren't happy about that. Let's go to the user reviews. So no Geek Dad, by the way. 27 user reviews. There you go. There's that Dave guy, gives everything 10s. You know, he even gave ASM an 8. It's unbelievable. Geo saying 10. I really love this. Though the AI Spidey suit with Peter's son was not that good, but it didn't ruin it. The best part for me was Craven throwing Peter and Harry into the Savage Land. Perfect action, good dialogue. Hex, it just keeps getting better. So people are loving this. I wouldn't go that far, but, you know, when you're comparing it to what ASM has become, there's no comparison, is there? What a way to start a second year, 9.5. The Spider Boy. Honestly, a pretty solid issue with great dialogue, characters and art. Pacing is quick and snappy. Excited for Hickman's second year. Then we get lots and lots of 10s with no reviews. Let's see what the lowest one is from users. The lowest score is an 8. Okay. No Geek Dad, what's happened to him? Oh no, I feel sus now, says Fearmonic. And recommending Hyde Street, issue 3, it's amazing, if not a bit silly. Having a Christmas issue in mid-January. Yeah, I was talking about that on the Hot Comic Book Picks. It was delayed, wasn't it? Delayed by a month. What are you doing? Ghost Machine, they've been pretty good so far. They've not been delaying books apart from, well, it's not a delay, but there's Rook Exodus on hiatus, isn't there, until the spring. So that's too bad. Okay, so that's me having a bit of a whinge about Spider-Man. Just to cap it off, I tried this before, it didn't work. I want to show you a little bit of the issue, particularly the letters page. Let's see, this will share window. Okay, it's working now. Have a look at this. The true enemy, the evil villain behind the fall of Amazing Spider-Man is Nick Lowe, editor. This is what he's got to say about this latest issue, where you had basically Peter, you know, letting a convenience store be robbed while he was in there doing nothing, giving up, cheating on his new girlfriend Shay, who doesn't really count, I don't know, but maybe she does, going back to Black Cat taking him back. This was such an important and special issue for us, and I'm so thrilled by the job Justina and Andrea did on it. Much like the previous issue from Joe and Cafu that set us on this trajectory, it felt like such an unusual issue of The Amazing Spider-Man. I mean, this whole 8-death story is such an unusual Spidey story. That's twice he's used unusual. But for the most part, the first 4 chapters still felt structurally Spidey. Really? Doesn't feel like Spider-Man to me. Anyway, we hope that you are all as shaken as Peter is and curious where we could possibly go from here. At the very least, since I left the X-Men for Spider-Man 10 years ago, folks. 10 years he's been in charge. Well, he's been the editor. And have you noticed the trend in those 10 years? Falling off a cliff. Okay, we're up to... So I got carried away by a mini rant. A rare grey rant. What's going on? It's unbelievable. Let me just share something quick. Where are we? I've got to punctuate that with either a laugh or one of my new clips. This is what I've got to say to Nick Lowe, editing Spider-Man. No! There we go. Okay, let's get back to the letters page. 10 years in charge. 10 years as editor. I don't know if he was like the main editor right from the start, but I'm just saying it's way too long. This will be this will be one of the first times in a long time I've gotten to edit an X-Men team in one of my books, so that's super fun. Does that sound familiar? Like the X-Men was dying, or they were trying to kill X-Men because of the whole rights over the characters, the movie rights and stuff, and Nick Lowe was probably back in charge back then as the editor. And now he's in charge of Amazing Spider-Man, and it absolutely stinks. You don't get to see it until the next issue, though. But you did read some issues that have only just come out as we make this issue. What's he talking about? No idea. So, as usual, he's picked the most praiseworthy letters. They never print a negative letter, not anymore. It's been a while. I think it's like a year since there was one. And when I say negative, I mean slightly critical, you know. ASM is great, art is next level, Doom Spidey talking is the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. I like that Peter has friends and family who are loving and supportive. Blah blah blah. What does it say at the end? Yeah. Best wishes to you all. The next one opens up. Sorry to see that Zeb Wells has left the building, but I'm anxious to see what Joe Kelly and Justina Ireland have for us with 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. So the letters aren't even touching this story. That's how behind they are. You know, how many issues have come out of the 8 deaths? Feels like 6. I don't know. Keep up the great work, Spidey crew. Next one. Happy holidays, friendly neighbourhood. I've been subscribed for the past few years, and I have to say, after reading Legacy 956, I know for sure I'm not ending this subscription anytime soon. Do you know, I think he's writing them himself. I think he's making these up. Reading ASM is always a joy. It's always been my favourite comic, but this new story has a chance to become one of my favourites. Favourite. I tell you, I don't believe these are real. I've said this before. I think it was maybe a year and a half. I did a similar video, like saying I think that Nick Lowe's like making the letters up, and I think he might have even addressed, not my video, but he did comment on that in one of the letter pages after that, like, these are real letters, these are really people writing in. It's not me. And then the last one says, this is a slightly negative start to it. Notice I say start. Hi Spidey team, as I expressed in my last letter, I got to a point where this run just didn't really feel like it was for me anymore. In that same letter, I also expressed that I was excited to see where 8 Deaths of Spider-Man was going to go. And after 2 issues of it, I'm having a pretty good time. I think the main idea of the storyline is interesting, and I feel as though Spidey feels like Spidey again. Not to me. Magical powers have been fun. I would be lying if I said I didn't like the new suit. Looks like Spawn suit, Spawn cloak. That's it. Spidey, I'm curious to see where this leads. Listen to this. This is interesting. He wrote this a couple of months back, probably, after only 2 issues had come out. He wrote this before the moping, let's just end it all. I give up Peter Parker in this issue and the last issue. Spidey is almost always an optimist, but I feel like he's going to progressively get more pessimistic as this storyline unfolds. Yeah, it's definitely Nick Lowe writing this. He's writing about what's coming up. I could be wrong, but I do hope that this is being built up for a reason. Catch you next month. Always good to get your letters. We're very glad you're enjoying what we're doing with 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. As you saw in issue 65, this story involves way more than 8 deaths. Where we go next will keep you guessing big time. That's all he's got to say. That's it. Okay, that's enough. I've been waffling on for too long. Okay, let's see who's here. Let's have a look. Hey, lovely Sherry, good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. I hope you're good. I hope you're getting key. Wow. Dwayne, what these boneheads should do. A Marvel team-up book with Spidey is always a good way to spotlight less popular characters. Yeah, that'd be good to have a team-up book again. Same with Batman. Brave and the Bold ran for years. Fearmonic saying, I can't call you an editor. Maybe if you start editing something, I'll have something to judge it on. Exactly. Unreadable X-Men, the legend, says Dwayne. Oh, Jesus, Nick Lowe life. Yeah, it's a shame. I don't normally, do this kind of thing. I'm not really attacking the guy. I don't know the guy, but I've heard from other people that he acts like a bit of an idiot, and it's been getting more and more kind of amped up, What was that? Did he drop a comment on Twitter about, how Paul is one of the most important characters to Spider-Man, things like that. It's just winding people up deliberately. Why would you antagonize the fans like that? Well, according to him, everyone loves the book, so there we go. And to be fair, it is still, one of the top sellers. It's always in the top 10, at least. I'm going to say top 5 then. It was, it was number 1, number 2, isn't it? But I don't know if it's still top 5 or has it slipped a little bit down since Zeb Wells and then, Joe Kelly, Justina Ireland. But let's get on to Solicitations. This one, something exciting. And this is mainly for Marvel. Keeping the Marvel theme going this morning. Let's make that should make it a bit bigger so we can see it. So Old Man Grey can read it, just about. Here we go. Now don't worry, I'm not going to go through the whole Solicitations because it's huge I say. But I want to point out some things that do sound exciting. These are for April. The full lineup of titles coming out in April 2025. The first one here really caught my eye. It's the first of Marvel's Godzilla crossovers with its heroes, as well as the first and second issue of Joe Kelly. I know, Joe Kelly's new run on Spider-Man. Also new, Charles Soule is returning to Daredevil to do an old man Daredevil take on the character, which I'm looking forward to. I just want to shout these out mainly. And it doesn't mention it here, but I'll get to it. But they are relaunching Star Wars as well. There's going to be a new Star Wars #1. Okay, here we go. Godzilla versus Hulk, folks. Love they use the katakana here of Gojira below the main title. Shall I click on these covers? Let's see what happens when I do that. Ooh, what do you think? Would you go for this one? Or this one? Or this one? I like this one. This is pretty awesome. Is that Ultraman on the cover as well? So it's going to be written by Jerry Duggan, artist and covers, or it says artist. The main artist is Giuseppe Camuncoli. Sorry. General Ross has no tolerance for monsters in any form. With his anti-kaiju task force, the Thunderbolts, he's taken down or imprisoned the biggest and baddest monsters on the planet. Fin, Fang, Foom, Mothra, Kumonga, even the Hulk. Now all that's left is his biggest hunt of all. Got to be careful how I say hunt. Godzilla. But the Thunderbolts' efforts to bring their last monster to heel may just result in the most destructive battle royale to ever rock the earth. It's time to figure out who's really the strongest there is. Okay, I think this is... Does it say like it's a... I'm sure it's a mini-series, isn't it? We also get... Or is it just a one-off? A one-off Godzilla vs. Spider-Man issue 1. Unfortunately, it's been written by Joe Kelly. Art is by Nick Bradshaw, it says here. Let's have a quick look at the covers. There's a Spidey Venom one here. We also get the kind of, wrestling style poster. Mighty Marvel Mayhem, the Wall Crawler versus King of the Monsters. One will fall. It's the battle of the century. And this one too. Okay. Fresh from the original Secret Wars, Peter Parker, aka Amazing Spider-Man, returns to Earth with a spiffy new alien costume without a care in the world, except for a complicated love triangle with MJ and Black Cat. An unbelievable pressure at the Daily Bugle. Oh, and by the way, Godzilla is in New York City, with its destructive power aimed squarely at the Wall Crawler. Don't miss the two most popular characters in pop culture history absolutely going at it in this kaiju-sized slugfest for the ages. Okay, it says here, round 3 in a series of 6 one-shot throwdowns. So they're doing 6 different ones. $4.99. Okay, before I get onto this, Amazing Spider-Man, new #1, folks, 2025, April. Let's get back to you. Who's here? Dwayne Muth is pointing out that currently editing in comics means spell checkers, which sometimes they do miss, by the way, grammar as well, and also great at hiding. Jerry Duggan, I know, Fearmonic, yeah, he can be good. I've read some good things by him, but we'll see. How you doing, Salty? Are you Genki? Will you be picking up the new Amazing Spider-Man issue 1 in April? Yo, how about those Godzilla? Those couple of Godzilla variants, Godzilla vs. Hulk and Godzilla vs. Spidey. Hey, good to see you. Jargron 2. I won't reveal your real name in case you don't want me to. Thanks for dropping in. I'm doing well, thanks. I'm talking Marvel, and I was talking Spidey, so I wasn't doing well. But I'm getting better. It's getting better. Little by little. So we've got a huge wraparound cover. The main cover is by, I think it's Pepe Larraz. Looks like his style, doesn't it? Look at this. Though it does look familiar. It's like we've seen this cover before. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we can make it bigger. Look at this. Fantastic. Rhinos there. Lizard, Craven. Yeah, I think I talked about this before, didn't I? Go back. Let's have a look at the variants. Carrie Andrews, I think this one is. Oh my god, what the heck? What's he doing? Oh no, it's a Stegman. Sorry, Ryan Stegman variant. Quite like this one with Rhino in the background. Nope. Too basic. That's not bad. Pretty good angle. Doesn't list the names, unfortunately, so you have to bear with me. Oh, that's a bit of a weird one. Look at it. Look at his costume there. Looks like Spidey's lost a bit of weight there. Okay, there we go. So the wraparound cover was by Pepe Larraz, Ryan Stegman, Simone Di Maio, David Marquez, Lee Bramato was that weird one, wasn't it? Yeah, gotcha. The next era of Amazing Spider-Man has arrived. Do you ever get the feeling you've been here before? Do you ever get the feeling you've been cheated? To quote Johnny Rotten. The next era, yeah. Peter is, shockingly, without a job and looking for gainful employment. What a surprise. But his job search is interrupted by a rampaging rhino, okay? He is only the tip of a sinister, hint, hint, Sinister Six, sinister iceberg. What major spider villain is working behind the scenes, weaponizing other spider villains, including one we haven't seen in over 7 years? Also, what is that goblin-free Norman Osborn up to? $5.99 for the issue, 140 pages. And it also solicits issue 2, which will be $4.99, 32. Joe Kelly, Pepe Larraz. If Pepe Larraz is doing the art, I'm actually interested, even though Joe Kelly's going to be writing it, because I like Larraz's art. We'll have to see how long it lasts. What do you reckon? 3 issues before they get a fill-in artist in. Rhino Rampage. Okay, moving on. I want to talk about Daredevil Cold Day in Hell. It's a bit of an old man, Matt Murdock, old man Daredevil style miniseries. 1 of 3, written by Charles Soule and Steve McNiven. Okay, gotcha. AC, that means artist cover, Steve McNiven. So he's got a bit of a distinctive style. And I have talked about this a little bit before, but I'm interested. I always like Daredevil when he's written well. The only thing that slightly puts me off is the $6.99 price tag here. Jesus, folks. After a horrific series of events, the world is in shambles. Matt Murdock is old, so's Grey, and his powers have faded to nothing. Matt will not, however, sit by and watch his fellow New Yorkers suffer. So instead of swinging around the city from his Billy Club line, he slings soup at a food centre for the poor. No comment. But when a mysterious, wrinkly old man interrupts, talking about salty, a secret convoy causing an explosion, a deadly gas fills Hell's Kitchen, and this tale takes a turn that will change how you look at the man without fear. There we go. What do you reckon, folks? Any interest in this? Daredevil Cold Day in Hell. Let me just get back to you for a sec, see how we're doing. Okay, good to see you, Lane. Thanks for letting me know. I always appreciate that. I don't like to, use people's real names on the live streams. A question to you for Amazing Spider-Man. Okay, let's get to it. The latest fake issue on Spidey. I know, right? Did you read the latest issue of Amazing? I kind of read it only because I was given access to a review copy. I wouldn't have picked it up. Let's see. Lane continues. This issue really annoyed me. I groaned when I saw Peter making out with Felicia. Did not forget the fail of earlier this run. Why does Marvel keep bringing back Spidey's main 2 love interests? I know, right? What was weird is not that he was snogging Felicia, but that, he seemed to just... Well, I think Shay dumped him, his current girlfriend, his brand new girlfriend, only just happened and he's already going out, he's already kissing Black Cat. They have zero intention to let Peter get back with MJ or Black Cat. I think so too, continues Jogran. They already revealed that Pete's going to be back with Shay in ASM 1. Okay, I haven't actually read the solicit properly or the detail of the solicit. I didn't know that. I thought they were trying to get rid of her. Peter is just a spider suit with no substance. Fair enough. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it at all. I gave it a 3 out of 10. say some of the dialogue was okay. It wasn't like terrible writing, but I just hate the story. It's a terrible story, and I think it's all coming from above. It's all Nick Lowe and whoever's above him making sure they keep Peter down in the dumps. Just terrible. Yeah, I feel more like I'm still waiting for that as well. The new Warriors story about the deadly internet fart gas. I agree, absolutely, 100%. You know, can you imagine like getting your powers through a strange, bizarre discovery of internet gas? It's not even funny, is it really? It's become a meme. It has become a meme. I know, mate, the question is, why is this story a 10-issue storyline going back to Spider-Man? I've no idea. I've lost track of it. As I say, I've been kind of dipping in and out. I don't know. What I thought it's like a game itself, you know. And fight the end of level boss, get killed, but you've got an extra life anyway, so you can fight the next end of level boss and die again. At the same time, they seem to be making Peter despair, you know. He wants to give up again, yet again. It's hilarious. If they ever actually publish that, I'm buying a copy. I know, Theomonic. It has to be bought, doesn't it? Just to, you know, put it on your dartboard and throw darts at it, or use a ninja blowpipe. I love that John. He never gets old. I know it's been used to death, folks, but I just love that so much. Okay. How do I stop sharing this? It's so annoying when you click on the covers. Don't take me back to the beginning. There's one more thing I want to show. I'm going to skip past Deadpool. Just bear with me while I find One World Under Doom, by the way, is a big storyline coming soon. Are you looking forward to that? April will be issue 3. It's got the solicit here. It's written by Ryan North, who does Fantastic Four, which I don't read, so I don't know. Don't know if it's any good or not. There's going to be a Red Hulk as well, folks. A Red Hulk mini. Benjamin Percy's writing that. Let's get down to what I wanted to show you. Where are we? This is more just for a cover than an actual issue. Keep going. It's quite far down. Oh, here we go. Predator versus Spider-Man. I think it's a little mini-series coming out in April, issue 1. Let's have a look. 1 of 4. Written by Benjamin Percy. Artist by Marcelo Ferreira. Target Spider-Man in Predator's grittiest series yet. $5.99, by the way. Yikes. 40 pages. Let's get to it. A heat wave sends New York City into a blackout and Spider-Man on patrol as tempers boil across the city. But beneath its grimy sewers and subways lurks a threat unlike anything Peter Parker has faced before. Introducing Skinner. Is it Principal Skinner? A predator of no honour and no clan, only a thirst for blood. Skinner! Exquisitely rendered by superstar artist Marcelo Ferreira, $5.99. Yikes. Do you remember $3.99 comics? I do. Okay. Skip those. Weapon X-Men. There's loads and loads of X-Men titles here. I want to try and get to... Mind your eyes a sec. Actually, while I do that, I'll stop sharing. I will stop sharing. I want to find a cover. It's just a cover that really caught my eye. And no, it's not the sexy rogue in the Savage Lands one. It's not that. Believe it or not, it's a Carnage cover. I've no real interest in the series, but... Come on, where is it? It's quite far down. Here we go. Check this out, folks. Check this out. Skinner! Okay, where are we? Check this cover out. I love it. It's awesome. Let me double check by it's by a variant cover by Mike Mayhew. This is Eddie Brock Carnage issue 3. So it's starting in probably February, March, April, if it's once a month. Eddie and Carnage's hunt for serial killers has led them straight to Bushwhacker. It's time for Eddie to prove he's the biggest, baddest host a murderous symbiote could ask for. Carnage is out for blood and doesn't care whose. Never really read much Carnage, but this caught my eye. Let's make it focus. Look at that cover. That's bloody awesome. Look at the detail. It's brilliant. Real body horror cover there. Can you imagine if the interior art was like that as well? I know, not a chance, but you know what I mean. Good grief, that would have been amazing. There's the main cover. Oh, this as well. I always miss this. The Thing. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be a Thing mini. 5-issue miniseries. This is issue 2 in April, so it's going to start in March. Tony Fleeks is writing it. Leonard Kirk on art. This cover's by Nick Bradshaw. Just sounds good. I do like The Thing. I miss the old Marvel 2-in-1. They used to be great. And I'm still here to give you guys a laugh. Fear Monarch. Lane, if you're there. Come on, tell me. I know you're going to be picking this up. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. 10th anniversary special. Introducing Devil Girl and Moon Dino. Written by Brandon Montclair and Justina Ireland. Nacha Bustos, did someone say bust? Busty Busts. And Luca Claretti on art. Sorry, I know. I'm only joking. You know I'm winding you up, don't you? You know, that was it really. Just wanted to show that. Okay, stop sharing. I'm not going to go through the whole solicits. As I said, there's too many to go through. Way too many. Let's see who's still here. Did I lose everybody? They want $6 for Spider-Man vs. Predator. It's insane, isn't it? Never apologise for being salty. If Salty's still there. Salty's always saltier than most. And if Nosferatu was here, Jesus, he'd be the saltiest of them all, wouldn't he? Fresh on the heels of the show failing. To be fair, Lane, and about Justina Ireland, you know, she's having to write that storyline. She's not her story. I thought her issues were probably the most, well, the better written out of the, you know, Joe Kelly and the Derek Landy one was terrible. But out of the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man, whatever it is, 9 deaths, 10 deaths, endless deaths, I thought her dialogue was probably the best. Yeah, but I just don't like the story. All New Venom hurt my brain. I didn't read it. I had a look at the cover and the solicit and I was like, nah, you're all right, thank you. I read issue 2 and literally almost tore it in half. Good grief. That's crazy. Okay, again, just a little bit more Marvel. Star Wars relaunches with a renumbering from May. So that's why I was not in April solicits. It's starting in May 2025. Alex Segura and Phil Noto, Star Wars issue 1. Okay, where are we? It's called A Bold New Direction, aren't they always? For the Star Wars line. Takes place after Star Wars Return of the Jedi. That's how they're going to do the story. This new era will follow Luke's early challenges in restoring the Jedi Order to Leia and Han's continuing romance that led to the birth of Kylo Ren. Oh my god, it's becoming real. This new landscape of stories is what Marvel is calling the most revelatory contributions to the Star Wars mythos yet. And here's a quote. Now that we've put the period at the end of the Galactic Civil War with the Battle of Jakku, we can speed ahead into a new uncharted era with some new galactic threats, foes and mysteries for our beloved heroes to grapple with. It's going to blend the familiar with the new and shocking, said Segura. These stories will be packed with action and the character moments Star Wars fans have come to expect, featuring twists on the galaxy and landscape we know, with an eye towards making sure people can jump in easily and with any issue. We can't wait! Luke Skywalker must defend the New Republic from a bloodthirsty gang of mercenaries. Han Solo investigates a deadly underworld mystery and saves a surprising ally. And Leia Organa must grapple with a new alliance opposed to the goals of the New Republic. Check out the covers for the first issue below. Here we go. Let's have a look through the covers. I'll get the names first because it doesn't show. Bum. Art and cover by Phil Noto and the variant cover is by Lenil Francis Yu. So here's Phil Noto's cover. And let's go to Lenil's Francis Yu. Here we go. Lenil Francis Yu. I forget the name of this character here. Do you know? If you don't, let me know in the chat. I always forget him. I've actually got a collection, an old Marvel Epic collection. It's volume 2 of the original Star Wars issues that came out, you know, in the late 70s. They actually came out before the movie was released, I think the first few issues. So, yeah, this is like a bounty hunter, isn't he? He's pretty cool. Cool character. But I've not been reading it for a long time, so I don't know. What do you reckon? Is it worth picking up? I don't know. I really don't. No prices listed there. It's probably going to be $4 or $5.99, isn't it? You just know it, don't you? Yeah. Okay, there we go. Are you going to read Concert of Champions? No, I'm not. It's another one written by, what's he called? Jason Liu, or Liu. No thanks. Dazzler. Jason Liu of Dazzler fame. My goodness. Star Wars, those near and far wars. Nothing but Star Wars, please make it end. I think Bill Murray sang that, didn't he? Back in the day. Can we please not have another Star Wars comic post Return of the Jedi, says Lane, so we can see Luke fail, Han Solo become an absent father and probably husband, and Leia just losing power in the New Republic. Yo! Awesome one, good to see you. How you doing? Hope you're Genki. Thanks for popping in, mate. Good to see you. So yeah, not really interested in that either. I know. Nothing but Star Wars. This is what I am interested in, and I did talk about this a little bit earlier on the solicits, but there's a bit more detail and they get bigger covers. Godzilla versus Spider-Man and Godzilla versus Hulk. Couple of one-shots coming out in April. Written by Jerry Duggan, art by Giuseppe Camuncoli for the Hulk one. I'd read that before. What's it saying about Spidey? Joe Kelly's writing the Spider-Man Godzilla, folks. Oh my god. Yeah, I actually read that as well, didn't I? I've already forgotten. The second I heard that there's going to be a Godzilla versus Spidey crossover set in the 80s, I almost leapt across the table to claim it, said Joe Kelly in an interview. This book is a chance to go nuts. You want to get nuts? And have a blast with two iconic characters and channel the chaos of the time period that I was actively collecting Spider-Man. There we go. That's about it, really. Yeah. Going to be expensive, I'm sure. But come on, Godzilla. Grey. Grey's always tempted by a bit of Godzilla. Wow. Are you tempted? Are you tempted? Good timing, Zax. Zax jumps in just as we're getting nuts. Grey, let's get nuts. Love that Michael Keaton quote from the original Batman. Well, not original. The 1989 Tim Burton Batman. Look at those covers. You're not interested? Oh, you're not interested. That's too bad. I kind of am. I am interested. I am. Okay, that's the main news. There's not a lot of news, really. One more thing. Daredevil's black costume is coming back in issue 20, it says here. Again, according to AIPT. Aped. Nice cover, by the way. I've actually stopped buying Daredevil, stopped reading it. The current storyline by Saladin Ahmed is not been good, in my opinion. I lost interest about 7 issues in. Okay, this will be issue 20. Let's have a look when it's coming out. On sale April the 9th. Written by Saladin Ahmed. Art by Jose Luis Suarez. Covers by John Romita Jr. Not that cover. It's just the Philip Tan variant, which is pretty awesome. That's all it says. Back in the black armour. April. For the issue 20. Tempting, folks, to go for that. And there is a bit more news. Come on, guys. Remember my channel back in the day? I used to cover the Spawn titles. Check this out. You won't believe it. Maybe you will. The Spawn universe grows with Black Ritual and Medieval Spawn titles. That's an awesome image, by the way. Todd McFarlane and Image Comics are expanding the Spawn universe this April with 2 all-new mini-series. Okay, they're just going to be mini-series. Black Ritual, the Book of NYX, the Book of Nyx. I thought it meant Jesus. I was getting like flashbacks to that god-awful Marvel series. And Medieval Spawn. Black Ritual, the Book of Nicks, I can't stop seeing it, will be a 7-part series written by Spawn Editor-in-Chief Thomas Healy, drawn by returning Spawn artist Nat Jones. It reunites readers with fan favourite Nicks. Nicks to me has always been a character with more story to tell. She has mostly been a side character. Even now, she's reigning as a Queen of Hell. That's right, I remember that. So when Nat approached us about doing a new book focused on her, I knew I wanted to be involved. The reader will see how her story continued after Spawn 184. There we go. Some covers there. That's Nicks. That's not Nicks. Not sure who that is. Ooh, nice black cover there. Okay, and we also have Medieval Spawn. The Medieval Spawn miniseries finally sheds light on the untold origins of one of the most enigmatic characters in the Spawn universe. This 4-part miniseries, written by Rory McConville and drawn by artist Marco Itri, chronicles the brutal adventures of Sir John of York, a savage warrior in a treacherous world of dragons, wizards and monsters. You're a wizard, Harry. Sorry. Before being pulled into the far future, Medieval Spawn carved a bloody path across history, leaving behind enemies who would haunt him for centuries. Medieval Spawn invites fans on an epic journey through a dark and deadly landscape filled with magic and mayhem. Yep. It's interesting, it's tempting. I've liked Rory McConville's work on Spawn in the past. He's the writer. It's going to depend on the art for me. Let's have a quick look at the covers. It's beautiful. That's a gorgeous cover. And the black and white version. Ooh, not a fan of the black cover, but yeah, that is pretty awesome. Cover A by Nat Jones. Cover B, Jonathan Glepion. Sorry, that was Black Ritual. Medieval Spawn was Francesco Martina. That had to be, didn't it? It's gorgeous. And the black and white variants by McFarlane and Francesco Martina. Okay, so McFarlane must have inked it, did he? Love a bit of Martina's covers. They're so good. They're beautifully painted, usually. Okay. It's not a racist suit. Oh my god, I didn't even want to talk about it. Jagron, I know, right? It was hilarious. I saw it on the Solicitations, I was just like, I skipped it. DC are making a new Fire and Ice miniseries, a sequel to Fire and Ice, which I thought was one of the worst series from last year, but some people seem to like it. Unbelievable. And there are too many Spawn titles, that's why, yeah, I've dropped most of them. Back with the launch of the Spawn universe, I was reading regularly. I was reading Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn and the King Spawn. There were just 3 and they were all really good in their own way. Covered that for about 2 years and then they started bringing out more and they changed the the writers, the artists, and I kind of lost it. Although I am still reading Scorched. I got the latest issue and I like that. It's a team book. It's just fun. It's decent. It's a good fun team book, that actually works. Return Angela to Spawn. Yeah. Wow. Okay. How are we doing for time, folks? 48 minutes. As you know, on these Saturday afternoon live streams, I don't tend to go too long. Just jump in for about an hour if I can manage. Even can keep going for an hour. By the way, I did want to talk a little bit about the cover to, what do you call it? I've forgotten the word. I can English. My thumbnail to this, because I've not talked about it yet. It's got nothing to do with Spider-Man. I'm currently editing a kind of podcast episode, though it is video, it's visual as well, that I recorded with my brother. My brother's older than me. He got me into comics back in the day, back in the late 70s, and I got into comics basically thanks to him. So it's kind of a talk about how he got into comics back in Britain, in the UK, when there were no comic shops really, in the late 70s, what the comic book scene was like back then, what British comics were available back then, and how the American comics were kind of, redone and done in black and white, just reprints basically, but in a bigger magazine size format for the UK audience. Marvel UK was its own thing. It was fascinating. It was really good talk. But I say I'm still in the middle of editing it. It's about 45 minutes long. Looking forward to getting that up. But that's what this thumbnail was about. I'll show you. I've got some photos of a couple of really old British comics going back to like the 60s. These I like, and 60s and 70s. Look at this. There was one called Wizard and Chips. Love that name. This was December 1969, folks. Number 11. It's got penned here. Someone's written it on. Like, these were, obviously kids' comics. The next one was called the Beano. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. This is the British version. This was started in like the late 1930s. Like even maybe 1940, 1939, I think the first issue. But I was buying it in the early 80s. This character's called Dennis the Menace. Completely different character to the American version. And his dog, Gnasher, with a silent G, Gnasher. Look at that, 22 pence. That's October 1988, so that was a little bit after my time. I was probably reading it like 1980, 81, 82, around that time. And just one more, a very popular war comic. War comics were big back then in the UK. Battle. There was Battle, there was Action, there was Commando, there was all sorts. Look at that, 1977. You can tell this is the same company. It was Fleetway, which later brought out 2000 AD. Just show a couple more because I don't want to spoil the live stream. But as I say, I'm editing it. Commando, war stories in pictures, 6 pence. War comics was so popular back then. This was a famous one which got cancelled by the government because it was too violent. A comic called Action, 1976, I think it was. Got like a guy here with a chain. There's a policeman on the floor with his helmet off. Oh my God! Yeah, this was actually banned. It became banned by the government at the time in the late 70s. Crazy, right? And finally, 2000 AD, which I'm sure you've heard of. This was an issue from July 1978. Prog 74. Look at that. Not great quality, I know. But anyway, I'm working on this. I can't wait to release it. It's going to be a members first video. Members first will get it, and then I'll probably put it on public like after a few days of members. So there we go. Just wanted to shout that out. That's what the thumbnail was all about, in case you're wondering. Right, where are we? Christian Thompson. I've been loving dark patterns so much, and you, Gray, are the only one that covers it. Thank you, for real. Really, I'm really enjoying it. I'm glad you enjoyed my reviews. Reviewed the first 2 issues. I think it's great. Some people don't think it's that good, which surprised me, but I think it's really good. I'm enjoying it very much. You got me tilted if you think I haven't heard of the more ruthless version of Dennis the Menace, Fearmonic says. I don't know the history of the American version, the character. Did the British one come first? I don't know, his history. I've not looked into it. And it's not a deep dive into, the history of the Beano or that. It's just a general, personal story of how my brother, and then through him, how I got into comics and what the comic scene was like back then. It's fascinating, when we didn't have comic shops. You didn't have those kind of things back then. It's crazy, right? Yeah, Dwayne, Rogue Trooper, fantastic character. Always worth shouting that out. So that was about it. I think that's it for the big news. Let's have a quick look before we finish at the big releases for next week. Let's see what's coming out. I'm going to do a proper video on this, as I usually do on Monday. It drops Monday morning stateside time. Let's make this a bit bigger. Okay, so I'm just going to very briefly go through this, but let's have a look at new releases for next week. And guess what's number 1 on League of Comic Book Geeks? And it's not really by what's selling, this is by the number of users who put it on their pull list, so don't take this for, for meaning anything. Ultimate X-Men, controversial, is the one, is it top of the list here? Number 11 comes out. I'm still reading that. I enjoyed it. I know, controversial. It's not X-Men, but I like the Japanese story. X-Men comes out. Green Lantern 19. Looking forward to that. Ninja Turtles is coming out. We've got Skip Deadpool. Also, TMNT, The Last Ronin 2. Re-Evolution issue 4. Redcoat. This is what's getting me excited. Redcoat 9's out, folks. Can't wait for that. Ice Cream Man. It can be hit or miss, but it's always worth a look. Believe it or not, I'm reading Spider-Boy thanks to Jim, Weird Science Comics. He's got me into it. It's probably the most fun Marvel comic out at the moment. It really is. I'm not making it up. Superman Lex Luthor special. Don't know about that. Hell Hunters 2 comes out. Go down a bit. Thundercats, not reading it. Hello Darkness. Sabretooth, Dead Don't Talk issue 2. There's a new series from Image here. The Seasons issue 1. Let's have a quick look, because I've not heard about this. Who's writing it? Oh, yes, I have. Rick Remender and Paul Azaceta. They weave an elevated tale of whimsical horror, unlike anything ever experienced in comics. Don't we always say that? This double-length premiere issue for $3.99, folks. For a double-sized issue. Come on, DC and Marvel, what are you doing? Okay. Don't know much about the artist, Paul Azaceta. Summer, winter, spring and autumn are the Seasons sisters, the daughters of the world-renowned Seasons detectives. Okay. 10 years ago, their famous parents disappeared. Left to raise themselves, the sisters formed an unbreakable bond. Now that bond is tested as the sisters fall prey to sinister forces. The youngest sister, Spring, is the last hope of saving them from a fate worse than death. I've always wondered what is a fate worse than death? Can you tell me? Becoming the new Spider-Man writer at the moment. Amazing Spider-Man, working for Nick Lowe. Joking. Will Spring be able to piece her shattered family back together before it's too late for them all? There we go. Not sure about it. Any interest in that, folks? Rick Remender, so it's probably going to be decent. Might be worth a look. Violator from the Spawn universe is out. Black Cloak, not reading. Skip down. Master of the Universe versus TMNT. Wow, that's 3 Ninja Turtles related books coming out next week. Hornsby and Halo 3 comes out. Star Wars A New Legacy for $6.99 from Marvel. Listen to that. $6.99. Okay, it says 48 pages, but let's have a look. Let's have a laugh, see who's writing this. A decade of Marvel Star Wars comics. Celebrate 10 years. All new stories by some of the most influential creators of the decade. Here we go. Listed. Charles Soule. Okay, fair enough. Jason Aaron. Kieran Gillen. Artist Leonard Kirk. Ramon Rosanas. Salvador Espin. Doesn't go much into detail. But yeah, $6.99, 48 pages. No, you're okay. Thank you very much. And anything else to catch his Grey's eye before we wrap things up? Star Wars Ewoks issue 4. No, you're okay. Dick Tracy finally comes out. I thought hadn't that missed a week or a couple of weeks ago it was due out. It still hasn't come out. Book of Cutter issue 1. Have a quick look at that. Again, it's something new. Boom Studios. James Tiny Onion IV. Vertha del Edera. The Slaughterverse unveils one of its darkest chapters yet in an oversized one-shot. $9.99 for 96 pages. Jesus. Okay, anyway. I'm not reading any of the Slaughterverse stuff, so I don't know whether that's going to get your interest. As I say, Dick Tracy, Red Sonja for Salty, Knights vs. Samurai, DC's Lex and the City for $9.99. Mamma mia. Nightclub 2 issue 5. Yes, I will be getting that. Looking forward to that. That's been excellent. Blood Train issue 1 from Image. And Mark Spears Monsters. Salt is a big fan of that. Something Crawled Out issue 3 and 4. Both solicited here from Vault. The Untold Legend of the Batman. Limited edition. Facsimile, isn't it? Is that? $12.99. Bloody hell. Okay, that's it, folks. I don't want to go on too long. So, brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much for your support and thank you for watching this far. Star Wars issue 1 came out in March 77. If I've got my historical facts right, Dwayne, it actually came out before the movie. Is that right? Did the movie release in summer in the States? Because it didn't come out until I think it was either winter or the following spring in the UK. Geiger's awesome one. And Hyde Street is pretty good. A lot of people are enjoying it. Recommended reading from Dwayne. Fear Monica, Fate Worse Than Death. Every comic book you pick up becomes Fire and Ice and Tom King stories. Every book becomes Ready Player One. That's brilliant. You have hit the nail on the head. I don't have an applause button. If I did, I will be hitting it. Chip, yawn, clown. $9.99 for a good sleeping pill. It's unbelievable, isn't it? What a price. Hey, to Megatherion or the toe. To Megatherion, is it? Therion or Therion? Great to see you. Thank you for jumping in. Vault got to get their shit together. I don't know what's been going on with Vault. A bit worrying, isn't it? And speaking of support, Fear Monarch, fantastic, a member for 16 months. If you're a member of the Wakizashi Tea House Dojo, you do get exclusive, kind of exclusive, long-form reviews of Grant Morrison comics. Me and Jim from Weird Science Comics are going through those. We've been doing Animal Man, but we're talking about jumping back into Invisibles because we're up to Volume 2, Issue 1 of Invisibles, where it kicks off in America. Pretty awesome as I remember it. And I think Phil Jimenez is on the art, so the art really, really steps up. Can't wait to talk about that. I think, it's not decided yet, folks, I think we're doing that for 4 issues, the 4-parter. Then we're probably going to go back to Animal Man and finish it, because we've got 5 issues to go. 22 to 26, I think. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So, just to let you know, that's the plan. Well, thanks a lot for your support. What do we have to close things out? Here we go. Just remember, when you come home from your dead-end job, just think you've got a good comic to read, a good book to read, a nice cup of tea to drink, a nice cup of coffee to have, something fun to watch. Everything's okay.
Stinking dead-end job.
Hello, sweetheart.
There's my gal.
Or somebody nice to greet you with open arms and give you a kiss to cheer you up when you come home. But yeah, I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. You have a great weekend, what's left of it. For me, well, and for you, it's Saturday, 2:31 p.m. in Japan. Looking forward to chilling out, watching something. I think tonight it's going to be a David Lynch movie or some more of Twin Peaks. And yeah, that's my plan. Tomorrow, I might be on a live stream, I think. If it's on, I never know if it's on till last minute. I might be on Bandito Bane's live stream. Let you know in the morning, which is like, what time is it? I think it's early morning. No, it's like 4:30 p.m, something like that. 4 p.m. stateside time. God knows what time it is in Japan. It's like really early for me. So I kind of pop in for a little bit and say hello. Spawn versus Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies, says Dwayne. That's awesome, mate. Okay. As always, thanks for your support, and I do hope to see you in a future video. This is Gray from Wakizashi's Tea House signing off with a song, Talking Morrison.
Listen up, and you will hear tales of ruins, hopes and fear. You better leave all your notions behind. I'm here with great Japanese AI, and we'll talk about things guaranteed to blow your mind. The invisibles to patrol and others we find. Talking Morrison with Gray. Talking just about every Friday. Talking Morrison with Gray. So free your mind and follow us. Come on this way.
To fix their hearts or die.